Hello. Today we're going to be talking about Crazy Rich Asians and the portrayal of honor. When you think about the word honor, a few things might come to mind: a knight's honor or family honor. This term has been around for centuries, and some might say honor is not prevalent in the society anymore. And while the meaning of honor may have changed, I believe it is still very prevalent in today's world. However, the interpretation of honor is diverse due to different cultural and social influences around the world. The prevalence and differences of honor are highlighted very well in the 2018 hit movie Crazy Rich Asians. Crazy Rich Asians is a big budget, romantic comedy movie with a completely Asian cast. This movie is about a Chinese American girl, Rachel Chu, who falls in love with Nicholas Young, who, unknown to Rachel, is a member of one of the wealthiest and most influential families in all of Singapore. Nicholas brings Rachel to meet his crazy rich family back in Singapore, where she meets the main antagonist, Eleanor, Nicholas's mother. The conflict of the movie is over Eleanor's interpretation of honor versus Rachel's interpretation. Here's the scene where they first meet.
Mom.
Are your parents academics as well?
No. Well, my dad actually died before I was born, and my mom didn't even go to college. She actually hardly spoke any English when she immigrated to the United States. But she worked really hard, and she studied, and she earned her real estate license while she was waiting tables to support us. Now she likes to say that she's Flushing's top real estate broker.
Self-made woman. She must be so proud of you.
Well, she knows that I'm passionate about what I do, and she's always wanted that for me.
Pursuing one's passion. How American.
This scene introduces two different interpretations of honor and how they are both very culturally and socially based. As Rachel talks about her self-made mother, Eleanor rudely turns away and starts talking to the cooks. While Rachel sees her mother's story as honorable and something to brag about, Eleanor sees this as naive. When Eleanor says, "How American," the distinct difference between American views and Asian views is demonstrated. Eleanor is very annoyed that this is the girl Nicholas brought back, mostly due to their conflicting views on what is honorable and how she was raised. Now let's look at a scene where the focus is on what Eleanor believes is honorable instead of Rachel. This scene is while the family is making dumplings. Rachel inquires about Eleanor's college career.
Oh, I didn't know you were a lawyer.
I withdrew from university when we got married.
Oh.
I chose to help my husband run a business and to raise a family. For me, it was a privilege. But for you, you may think it's old-fashioned. But all this doesn't just happen. It's because we know to put family first.
Eleanor believes it was honorable for her to drop out of law school to raise a family. This interpretation definitely has very strong social influences. Her social sphere definitely has gender roles still prevalent due to her decision to drop out to raise a family. She chose to raise a family over following her passion, which is why Eleanor then calls out Rachel, saying that she might think it is old-fashioned, because Rachel is following her passion, teaching economics. Eleanor is definitely proud to announce that she chose family over her passion. But this pride should be taken with a grain of salt. She was marrying into one of the wealthiest families in Singapore, which probably influenced her decision. Either way, she is definitely against what Rachel believes in. Having both of these views of honor contrasted in the movie shows how big of an influence culture has on the interpretation of it. It shows how the American dream plays into how Americans view honor, and how traditional societal gender roles play into the Young's family interpretation of honor. In addition to cultural and social influences, socioeconomics plays a pretty major role in the interpretation of honor. In the past, honor was directly tied with socioeconomic status. In the world now, it might not seem that honor is as correlated with socioeconomics, but it is also demonstrated very well in Crazy Rich Asians that different socioeconomic spheres had a different view on honor. This is seen with both Nicholas's parents and with Rachel. This scene is where Eleanor tells Rachel about why her husband had to have a wedding ring made for her.
I didn't mean to offend you.
Not at all. You asked about my ring. The truth is, Nick's father had it made when he wanted to propose to me because Amma wouldn't give him the family ring. I wasn't her first choice. Honestly, I wasn't her second.
Gosh, I'm so sorry. I had no idea.
I didn't come from the right family, have the right connections, and Amma thought I would not make an adequate wife to her son.
Eleanor's husband's mom wouldn't give him the family ring to give to Eleanor because she wasn't of the right socioeconomic status. This is once again the conflict of honor, similar to that which Eleanor has with Rachel. Eleanor probably viewed honor differently before she married into the Young family due to her socioeconomic status, which is why Amma wouldn't give her the family ring. The climax of the movie highlights the different views of honor based on the Young family's high socioeconomic status versus Rachel's lower status. Let's see it.
I'm sorry to tell you, but Rachel has been lying to us about her family and her mother.
What are you talking about?
I hired a private investigator
Mom,
to
you
look
didn't.
into her past. She said her father passed away
Mom.
in China, but that's not true. Your mother's husband is very much alive. During her marriage, she cheated on him and became pregnant with another man's child. And before he found out, she ran away to America.
Once the Young family finds out about Rachel's past, they aren't worried about her anymore, but they are worried about the scandal it could cause for their family. This is where something that Rachel had to live with was too dishonorable for the Young family to handle. Eleanor
We
says,
cannot be linked to this sort of family.
this is where socioeconomics becomes such a barrier that they refuse to let Rachel join their family. I believe that this form of tainting the family worry that the Youngs care about is something that only those families of very high socioeconomic status worry about, because scandals only follow families from a pretty high socioeconomic status. Many people will argue that honor isn't very prevalent in today's world, but I believe honor is still very prevalent. It's just not as easy to notice. Honor is different for different cultures as well as different socioeconomic statuses, which makes it hard to notice because there are so many different forms. In conclusion, Crazy Rich Asians does a very good job of representing the clashing of two very different interpretations of honor. Through this, it is demonstrated that honor is very prevalent in today's world. It just is disguised by the changing interpretations of it due to a multitude of influences. Honor has been prevalent for centuries. It will continue on for many centuries to come.